People gamble. They like to gamble. It makes things more exciting because now there's money on the line as well as pride and everything else.
Are you allowed to bet on fights?
I am not.
You are not allowed to?
I am not allowed to. Now.
When did that happen?
It's a recent rule that came about because apparently there's an allegation that one of the UFC trainers, I want to be real clear about this because I actually like this guy a lot and I think he's a super talented trainer and I do not know if this is true. So I won't even say his name, but one of these trainers was apparently aware of injuries and then informing like a group of people online who are betting. So they're saying like, hey, this guy's got something wrong with him.
Right.
He's not going to win this fight. And then all the money would go on the opponent and then they would rake it in. And this happened allegedly on fighters that he was training or people that he knew.
It's like insider stock trading. It's
similar. Yeah, it's fishy also because it gives the possibility that fights are dives. You know, when a coach is betting against their fighter, like or giving other people information against their fighter, if that happened, I don't know if it happened again. I just want to be real clear. It's allegedly. If that's the case, that's kind of like it's next door neighbor to a dive, and that is the last fucking thing we want in mixed martial arts is fixed fights.
Right.
Which is weird because it's owned by the same people that own WWE now.
Right.
Which is kind of crazy.
They've had a good week.
It's a great week.
Yeah, it's a good week to be in the WWE.
Yo, dude, that Vince McMahon is wild. That boy's out there.
I read this. I couldn't get through the text messages. I started trying to read them, and I was like, I don't want to read. This is like poison.
But the thing is, when I see that dude with his shirt off, he's 80 years old, he's got a chain around his neck. What, are you shocking me with this information?
Yeah.
Don't you think it takes a lot to get that guy going?
No, you're saying he needed to send all those text messages to get aroused at that age?
I think he probably needs a lot just for stimulation. Listen, he's a billionaire.
Right.
He's been running pro wrestling for fucking decades. He's world famous CEO of this giant fucking multinational company, pro wrestling company. He's also in pro wrestling.
Right.
He gets out there and competes. He does it.
Yeah, I guess.
Or, performs, I should say.
At a certain point, I guess, if you're that through the looking glass of reality, like you become a heel in life. Life is heel and everything is a match.
Yeah, if you're going to be really successful at putting together pro wrestling, probably be pro wrestling all day long.
You got to stick with it.
Yeah, like stay in it all fucking day long. Don't go read Nietzsche at the end of the day. Don't be reading Carl Jung's thoughts on flying saucers. Get the fuck out of here. Drink beer and go fuck.
Yeah.
That's what you should be doing. You're on the road. I want you to Ric Flair it until the fucking wheels come off.
They do come off, too.
Well, yeah, on almost all of them.
Yeah.
The only one who hasn't is The Rock.
Right.
The Rock is in remarkably great condition, obviously huge and massive and muscles and everything, but mobile. He can do things. Like we worked out together.
That's interesting. I wonder because he also seems like kind of the most. He's one of those dudes who's got like what you're talking about, genius level. He could have been anything.
Sure.
He's kind of got one of those mega IQs, feeling like.
Well, he's got a mega discipline. Is what he has.
Right.
And if he applied that to intellectual endeavors, he would be a mega genius. It's like I think we want to think that they're not connected. But I think they are. And I think like a Michael Jordan or someone who gets that good at basketball could get that good at anything. It's just they don't apply themselves in that area because I think it's just exceptional people.
Well, you know, there's that weird idea, and apparently this is proven, that the difference between a world championship runner and the number 5 is like less than a second. Their speed, right? I mean, the difference between the Olympian and the guy that doesn't make the podium is it's just infinitesimally small. And then the reason that the person wins is because they believe. It's not even a physiological thing. It's like a confidence thing. And
unless you're running against Usain Bolt.
Right. We'll take him out. We'll take him out.
What you believe. Because then there's genetics. Genetics are real too.
Well, genetics is probably, I would guess, is what gets you to the stage in the first place. It gets you on the track.
It exists intellectually too. There's boundaries. I have limitations. I have like certain limitations intellectually. At a certain level, I just check out.
Sure.
I'm not going to be, but I am friends with some insanely brilliant people that scare the shit out of you. Like if I talk to Eric Weinstein, I'm like, what are we even the same thing?
Right.
Like what are we? We're not we're barely the same thing.
You know when you really see that kind of genius is when they start talking to you in a way you'll understand. You go, "Oh, so you wrote that book that I can't even comprehend, but you're also conversationally able to
Eric
help
doesn't
me.
even try. He doesn't even try with that.
He leaves you behind.
He does sometimes. I try to tell him, like, you got to help us out here. But it's just because that's how he thinks and that's how he communicates. It's like if you're going to talk about comedy to someone who doesn't do comedy, you'd probably just start talking like a comic. Like,
Right.
this is what we do. This is how we do it. I'm not going to, like, I can't hold your hand too long. You're 40 years old.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
Just explain how I do it.
Yeah.
Either get it or you don't get it. But
I was on that pool thing though.
Yeah.
That universe, when you walked into that pool hall and saw, like, bam, this is another universe.
Yeah.
To me, like, that's the experience of my life over and over again. That is what the book is about, is these momentary portals into another universe, where somebody taps you on the shoulder and goes, like, walk over here. It's like Luke Skywalker, right?
Right.
He's this weak, powerless kid on Dantooine or whatever, and then all of a sudden Obi-Wan Kenobi goes, look, there's a whole other universe here.
will you show everybody your shoes? Because I think those are Luke Skywalker shoes. That's what I was going to say.
This is bullying,
I couldn't
Joe.
remember. I love them. I couldn't remember the name of the planet, though. When you said Tatooine. I was like,
You think
that's
these are Dantooine shoes?
Yeah, for sure.
These are cool. Joe came in and almost liked them. I felt pretty good about that.
They're unusual. I love that you wear them. They look great with white slacks or tan slacks. Are those white or tan?
This is so close to a compliment.
It's a compliment. You have a style. You have a certain style.
They're the most comfortable
Chain
shoes.
out too. Look at you.
Chain out. Yeah, always. Chain out all day. If I'm coming to Joe Rogan,
Chain
I'm
out.
taking the chain out.
Let's go.
Let's freaking
Let's
go.
fucking go.
I say let's freaking go for the kids.
Yeah, let's friggin' go.
Let's friggin' go,
What's
guys.
less offensive, friggin' or freaking? Like if you're around an old lady.
I think freaking is more fun for an older lady.
Right, it's not offensive at all.
Because she's an old freak herself.
Maybe.
She might just be an old freak
She
herself.
might be an old prude that hung in there.
I've never understood the concept of censoring yourself for an older person. They've
respect.
heard the thing.
Right, but the idea is
They
that
shot Nazis.
That is true. But that every generation gets more and more desensitized to bad words.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Which is 100% true.
Yeah, I can see that for
like
sure.
my kids say things that I would have never said in front of my parents.
Oh, in front of you.
Yeah.
But you're you. So
That
you've created
also-
a persona where swearing is. It'd be funny for you to be uptight about swearing.
It is funny.
I bet you did though when you had little kids, right?
No, I never was. My
No.
wife was a little bit, but not bad. And I was like, listen, we have to just tell them that you can't say these words in front of other people, but they're just words.
Right.
The only thing, words are a sound you make so I know what you're thinking.
Right.
That's all it is. And to make words good or bad is fucking stupid. But there's a lot of things you're going to learn that are stupid in the world. But here's the rules. But around the house, they'll use them for funny. And it's hilarious. It's like you raising comics because we all talk like comics. They'll talk shit, and it's fun.
Totally. I had a conversation with my daughter